Good afternoon. It's a Love Unity Patients Project video. I just want to say, first of all, thank you to all the people out there risking health and life to fight this devastating virus that's affecting America. And as you know, it does affect all people, but it affects black people more than any other race. And you may wonder why people that's having such a hard time with this disease cannot support each other more. It's history. We black people are a strong, resilient, adaptive people, but we're divided, and this virus truly magnified that to the world. So what I'm asking my people to do, black people, let's try harder to support and care about one another. But again, this is not just about black people, it's about all Americans, because all Americans are out there doing their best to fight this devastating virus. But what I really want to speak about, as you know, before this virus came to America, we have a problem with, excuse me, before the virus came, we had a problem with violence in our communities, and it's just sad. As you know, a parent's worst nightmare is to have to bury their child. But in black communities across this nation, it's a common occurrence, and we need to ask ourselves why this continues. Now, having said that, a couple other things I'd like to address. Very important. I hear a lot of talk on Facebook and different social media, all this rhetoric about hating each other. Let me tell you something. That's not going to get us anywhere. And if you hear someone say something hateful, why don't you respond with something positive, or at least some useful knowledge to move us forward? And the point I'm trying to make, a couple of days ago, it was a well-respected black man on television. I don't know if he was a rapper or what, I forget. In any case, I was hoping he would say something positive, like, my people, black people, we need to love each other more. We need to understand why we treat each other as we do. Something useful. But instead, he repeated something negative that had been going around, and I'm saying to myself, this is a time when we need to hear something positive and something uplifting. Not only black people, but the whole nation. And don't play into that hate rhetoric. That's exactly what Donald Trump, our president, who threw us all under the bus in America, wants us to do. And this is very important. I think at this time I need to go back and remind some people exactly what happened to us and what our president said when he first came in office. We all know that he does not care for people of color. But that would have been fine. But be everybody's president as he said he would, but he did not do that. But getting to this virus, this is what I think happened with our president and his advisors. They saw this devastating virus coming because, as you know, it was in other countries before it came to America. And I think they made the decision at that time because, understand, they could have rolled this pandemic and this virus into the White House. You all know how bossy President Trump is. All he had to do was say, the buck stops here. All 50 states, let's get coordinated, some continuity. These are the numbers to call for our PPEs and everything that we need so we can all be in this together, America. But once he said, well, you governors go for yourself, then everything was in chaos and panic. Perfect example. Here, where I'm speaking to you from, Chicago, as I understand it, we are supposed to mandatory everyone has to wear a mask. And then I'm hearing about some other states that are about to just open up and let people walk around. I don't know if this is all true. I haven't really got the details of it, but my point is this. This confusion that we have in America is because of our president. And again, I really feel he did it on purpose. Remember what he said, going to make America great again. How insulting is that to people of color? But my point is this, he's doing just what he said he wanted to do. Now he's caused all this confusion, and don't play into this hate and rhetoric. If someone says something hateful to you, respond with some love or something positive to move people forward so we'll feel better about each other. It's enough anger and hate going on without us piling on and adding to it. So keep that in mind. What his end plan was, America, our president's hoping that these inner cities blow up or it starts some type of racial conflict with each other, and then he can just walk right back into the White House. That's the plan. That's why he makes statements to inflame people, to get them upset about the disinfect and all the other racial things that he says and gets away with simply because America is, racism is part of this nation. and that cannot be denied. But it's how you respond to it that's important. Okay, we need to understand that and try to love one another and be closer to each other. Now, I like to say something. I'm asking for help from everyone. All positive ideas about how we can move each other forward. And I like to say this to people who are not black. What if our journey had been your journey? We have to understand what happened to us. Again, trying to create some empathy, but we don't talk about what we're living. We are strong, resilient, adaptive people, and one time in this nation it was set up for us not to make it, but we made it anyway because we are strong people. But we need everyone's input, not just black people, all people. And I would say to the people that are supporting this president, are you supporting him for the right reasons? Because you know it starts at the top that he should have said, all states, this is where you come to so we can all be on the same page. But he intentionally put this confusion in our nation because he's hoping that the inner cities just blow up and people start acting crazy. And please, I'm talking to the people in the inner cities, and I'm one of them because I live in a very poor neighborhood in Chicago. And people are struggling and hurting. But here's my point. If you start clowning and tear up where you live, where you work, where your children go to school, we don't have much. We won't have anything then. So what's the point? This is, again, exactly what the president wants you to do. And when you play into that hate rhetoric, you're helping Donald Trump. Get that. This is our nation, America. Not all people. We're all the same. And you got to get that. And that's really about all I have to say is we need some help. And as you know, a house divided cannot stand. And that's what this president has done to this nation. And you have to think about that. And we are in a quagmire, so we don't even know if we're going to make it. I'm speaking about America. But if we make it through this, what we need to do right now, each and every day, is ask ourselves, how can we make this nation better? How can we stop all this hate and rhetoric? Because we all want the same things. And that's live the best life you can live and leave a legacy to our children. That's what you want to do. Before I close, I'd like to leave my people with a question. Why do we, black people, overreact when someone of another race kills one of us, yet we kill each other at an alarming rate across this nation? Ask yourself that, and how can we stop this violence, or at least address it better? And asking everyone to help with any ideas, positive ideas you may have. And this is very important. All the people in the inner cities that's struggling, having a hard time. I know it's not easy, but if you're the head of a household, man, woman, or child, your family needs you. They're looking to you for leadership. Stop with all this hate and rhetoric and understand what our president and the people, his advisors, are trying to do. They meant that, make America great again. They want to cause a problem. But let's trick them and start loving and caring about each other. And I think that's about all I have to say. And thank you for listening. God bless.